Today, Jerry, we are going to do something very exciting and interesting for, I think, you and the audience, our viewers. We are going to do what's called a tuberculosis trunk wash for the elephants. It's a test to make sure they do not have tuberculosis. It's something we usually do annually, and we're going to be right back with that here shortly.
Ooh, as a medical professional, I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
All right.
Let's go.
See you
We'll
soon.
be right back.
Welcome back to Southern Oregon Safaris.
Where the buffalo roam.
I'm Hayden.
And I'm Jerry.
And today, Jerry, we are going to do something really cool and exciting, something that I don't think too many people ever see or even know about. Elephants, well, all living species can get, as you know, tuberculosis, and it can be a big problem. But in elephants, it can be pretty deadly if it's not treated immediately. It's rare, but it does happen. And so it used to be required by the federal government to do it annually, but now the states usually just ask us to do it if we're traveling or we're around the public a lot. So we want to make sure that there's multiple different types of tuberculosis. There's avian, which is from birds. Mm-hmm. There's the bovine, which is the cattle tuberculosis, and then there's the human version. And so the main thing I think the government really worries about is they don't want you spreading these types of illnesses that can spread to the agriculture. If you've got large populations of cattle or deer,
that
makes spread
sense.
from animal to animal, and then it winds up in the meat supply. So they're trying to avoid that.
That makes perfect sense.
So we try to, we used to be mandated to do it annually. Now it's kind of just as needed, but we try to stay on it, and we're due, and we're going to be doing possibly some stuff. So we want to make sure we have our TB tests up to date. So we're going to do an elephant trunk wash. That's what this is called. So let's check it out.
Okay.
See you in a second. Good, Scotty. Take it. You ready, kid? And in the bag we go. Spin it. Good girl. All right. You ready, kid? One trunk wash. Baba, come on. Did you end it? Stop. You ready, Ken? Yeah. Let's get your bag right. No, Baba, leave it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Baba, stop. Okay, ready? Here we go. Onesie, twosie, threesie. Shake it, not stir. Ready? Wait, Baba, wait. Baba, wait. Ready? Stop. All right. All right. Go.
Done?
Go somewhere. That's good. Thank you. Well, what'd you think, Jerry? That was
Yeah, you and Ken know what you're doing.
well, I don't know about that.
Well,
we're good at faking it.
yes, that was pretty funny with that little blooper with your one try.
Yeah, and sometimes Baba has got this weird thing where she thinks when I tell her to blow it out into the bag, she thinks she has to blow really hard for some reason. And sometimes it splatters all over the place. I've lost a lot of the samples because she just whoosh, and it just blows all back, and we're wearing it. We wind up with all of our faces and all of our clothing, and so it's just basically sputum. So that trunk is full of a mucosa membrane,
Mm-hmm.
and the tuberculosis is something it harbors usually in the pulmonary system, the lungs of the animal or the species. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to get some of that sputum from deep in the lungs or the mucus area, the mucosa. So we're trying to get some of that stuff that sheds, and then that goes into basically we inject about 60 cc's of sterile water into the trunk.
Water, not saline.
No, well, we can use saline too, but sterile water is what's the preferred
Well, they
fluid.
suck water up through their noses
And
anyway.
that's just saline
so,
anyway.
yeah.
But anyway, so we usually use sterile water. We want to lift the trunk up high. We want to try to get it up as far as we can, and then let them hold it in for a second. And then we ask them to blow it out. And when they blow it out, if there's any tuberculosis bacteria in there, or the actual live TB. So we're hoping that we'll catch any of that, if it's shedding any tuberculosis, if there's some in the lung, that we're going to have some shed through the mucosa, and that will come out in the sterile water. We send that into the National Veterinary Labs for APHIS, which is Animal Plant Health and Inspection Service of U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA.
Okay.
We
I
send
wonder
that in,
where that went.
Yeah, we send that into their lab, and then they test it. And it takes about 2 months. It's about about 8 weeks for that culture. And they try to culture, and then they'll see what grows in that culture. And they're looking basically to see if any TB is in that culture. We always blow negative. We've always had negatives. Now, the test is not always 100%.
Yeah.
It does have false positives and false negatives. We've been very fortunate. We've always had negatives. And as far as we're concerned, they're clean as can be. And the government is happy about that, too. We want to keep them clean. So it really is about exposure. And that's why a lot of times, like, there's a lot of bugs out there that elephants, they got their nose on the ground 24/7. So they're constantly breathing in what's on the ground. They're picking up everything and putting it in their mouth. And so everything that's on the ground, all this dirt, you got birds pooping, they could have TB, there could be all kinds of sputum on the ground from other animals. The elephants can pick up and put it and then ingest and then wind up with it in their system. So that's why we don't free water. We water on demand, and we usually use the bucket, and we always keep the buckets upside down, and we always make sure that nothing is breathed or choked or coughed or any kind of bodily functions in the water that the elephants are drinking, because we're trying to keep that environment as close to sterile as we can, even though it's not sterile, but we're trying to keep from introducing these bacterias or viruses into the elephant's body. So we're really kind of very careful, and that's how we eliminate the possibility of getting TB. And the most important things, like we don't, if people have been around strange cattle or whatever, we don't let cattle just roam free on the ranch. But you gotta be careful, because sometimes the wildlife can carry it too.
Yes.
So that's what we're watching out for. But like I said, it's important to keep checking it, and making sure that we're on top of that, and make sure that they stay healthy. Amongst skin care and tusk care and foot care, this is just another part of the care of the animal. So anyway,
That's pretty neat.
that's it. Trunk wash in a nutshell
Witnessed
right
yet
there.
another unusual event with elephants.
Yeah.
I bet you guys don't see that on YouTube, do you?
It's not a
You
big
do
deal
now.
So anyway, that's
Well,
the trunk wash for you folks.
Well, thanks, Hayden.
And now you know. So anyway, again, Jerry, that was that. We'll look forward to seeing everybody in the next one. Thank you again for liking, subscribe, share. It really helps the algorithm. Thank you for everything. And I'm Hayden.
I'm Jerry.
This is Southern Oregon Safaris.
We're the Buffalo Roam.
We'll see you again soon.
Bye-bye now.